in Space, which is part of a global network that deals with space issues. I want to start by some of the recent resistance history related to a Minuteman III missile field that is partly located in Colorado. And then later, I want to talk a little bit about how nuclear weapons are being used today. We're not just talking about building them and maybe this or maybe that. They are often a very serious and credible threat component of foreign policy, including very recently being threatened for use in Iran. So some of this history. In '98, we had our first plowshares action, I see. '98, is that right? In Colorado, in that missile field at a location called N7. And then we had another plowshares action involving several people who are here. That was one of those catch and release actions in 2000 at Peterson Air Force Base. And then in 2002, we had an action which got a lot of publicity at N8 in another missile in that field of Minuteman III missiles. And that N8 site has sort of become kind of a shrine or something. We go back there often. And Carl Cabot, who's here, has gone there 3 times. Including most recently last August 6th, in a pruning hooks action. All of these have helped us locally tremendously, and I hope nationally, to talk about where bombs are deployed, 24/7 alert, people in silos ready to execute commands. We're not talking about something that's just theoretical, it's actual, it's on the ground. It's working right now, if you can call it that, working. So and we also have other locations we look and focus on. We have upcoming on August 6th, I think it's the 8th version of Sisters Witness Against War, that it will be at Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs. And the next day, we'll go to N8. We'll take a lot of people who come to that religious community-focused protest. And those are kind of built into the schedule. We also typically have something at Air Force Academy graduation time. This whole movement they have a youth movement. 1,400 18 and 19-year-olds will show up at the Air Force Academy, 80% men, about 20% women. Every year they do that. And they go into the lower echelons of the war system. And another reason I say that nuclear weapons are being used is because we have so many of the other components of that system in Colorado Springs. Space, as you might guess, is a very important factor. They do 2 things from space that are very key to nuclear weapons being credible, usable. They, first of all, pick out targets by surveillance of wide areas, looking for something suspicious, something dangerous, or listening for the same things. The other thing we have is the global positioning system, about 32 or 34 satellites that are in orbit at all times that are key to the targeting of nuclear weapons. And more recently, another layer is added into this system that's very high-tech, and it's called cyber warfare. So that if you work cyber in there, you have another, what's called a force multiplier. You make your system more potent, you have more capability to disarm another system. It's bringing the shield into the thing of sword shield. And so, you know, in many ways, this is a very attractive thing. This is what can entice people to think this is really cool. So if you have any questions, I'll be over there hawking a few t-shirts here and maybe see some of you this afternoon too. Thanks.